Greetings and salutations. You are watching episode number 5 of PopGoesVR. PopGoesVR is a show in virtual reality about virtual reality. My name is Danthol. I'm here with my co-host Ryan. How's it going, Ryan?
I'm good. As you guys can see, I got my first COVID haircut. I haven't had a haircut for 3 months plus, and that's probably the longest I've been without a haircut since I was in high school. So it doesn't look the best today because I did it myself, but it'll look better once I figure out how to actually do this. It's actually a professional.
Get a little bit close. Show us.
Can you see it? Close. It's like more of like more modern. So I've tried to be a little more hip with the youth, and I just can't do it because I'm so unkempt and lazy with my hair that this is like a whole new. I have to use a hairdryer, Danthol, a hairdryer. So it's throwing me off.
Wow.
But otherwise, I'm good.
We both got our little earbud things now too. So now we don't have these headphones, so we don't look like it's a '90s cartoon about roller skating kids.
We're being profesh.
With big headphones. Yeah. I got these off Amazon. They're actually not bad, and they're like super cheap. Maybe I'll do something like a sponsored link in the bottom where you can buy these. They're cool. I think they're like $30. Is that legal to do on YouTube? I don't care. Let's talk about Rick and Morty and virtual reality stuff that Rick and Morty did, because that's what this show is about. It's about pop culture, VR, in VR. Rick and Morty, definitely some of the best current VR humor, comedy, cartoon stuff that we've had out there, really pushing that sci-fi envelope.
And that's because of Justin Roland, the guy who created this show along with Dan Harmon. But Justin Roland loves VR. I mean, between Rick and Morty and the constant references to VR, as well as the 3 VR titles he's had a part of, two of which he produced, Trover Saves the Universe and
Accounting Plus?
Accounting Plus, thank you. That was made by
we're going to have to do an episode on Accounting Plus for sure.
For sure. But yeah, he did those two. Then obviously the Rick and Morty VR game we'll get into in a bit. So Justin Roland loves VR. He stated so many times, and you see that all through Rick and Morty. And so, like I said, we're going to cover the few key episodes that really kind of delved into another reality in Rick and Morty, a virtual reality, if you will.
Nice. Yeah, so there was 3 episodes that we watched that had the VR focus on them. The first one I want to talk about is the interdimensional cable episode, where of course you're going and seeing, real fake doors. Hi, this is real fake doors. We sell real fake doors down here, and then I'm gonna walk away. And now I'm gonna make a sandwich. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He walks away. It's weird. It's interdimensional cable. And as Beth is watching, they're like, oh, we don't want to watch this. We're going to leave the room. So they go in the other room. Rick throws him a VR headset, says, here, take his VR headset and go in there, and you can watch interdimensional cable channels you want. And they put on the headset, and they see their lives had they made different choices in other dimensions. And Beth isn't a horse surgeon anymore. Now she's a human surgeon. And, fun stuff, interdimensional cable, but the VR headset and being able to see other alternate realities, dimensions. Yes, that was a fun episode.
I mean, it ties into the next episode, but yeah, the idea of being able to put on VR and then, that's why we want VR, right? We want to experience these things as ourselves doing something that we don't normally do. So this is like fantasy VR at its finest. To be able to live a life that's yours but not, and to see the choices that you could make. And, obviously, see those repercussions. What you're kind of telling the future, I guess, a bit. But it'd be a pretty fun game to actually simulate your life, I guess. As long as you could do it in, quick time, not real time, because that would be awful. But, it was a super good episode. Like I said, it just kind of showcased. It reminded me a bit of Strange Days as far as, using, not the same thing, but, the idea of someone else's memories. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but for some reason it really kind of jived with me that Strange Days, that whole tech was very, very similar. But now that I'm saying it out loud, it really doesn't, it's not similar at all. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, interdimensional cable, great episode, love that one. The other episode with heavy VR content was the M. Night Shyamalians, I guess. And that is kind of like an Inception level. You're in virtual reality inside of a virtual reality, and you can't tell if you've escaped the virtual reality. Yeah, so there's these aliens who abducted Rick, who are trying to find the formula for concentrated dark matter and trying to fool Rick and his cohorts into that as well. A lot of fun things in this episode, but they had the focus on the virtual reality was on a treadmill, an omnidirectional treadmill that no matter how fast you walk, the treadmill lets you walk, and the virtual reality was still simulated around you. So they had to break the virtual reality and run off of the conveyor belt. So they had a lot of technologies we talk about now in the future that VR will have. So that was exciting. What did you think of this episode?
I love this episode. I mean, like I said, the idea of this virtual reality and then having to force Rick and Morty to force the aliens to like overload their system by just making the most ridiculous things is hilarious. David Cross as the bad guy alien just trying to coerce dark matter out of Rick is also equally hilarious. Is it virtual reality? Is it not reality? He keeps trying to trick Rick into thinking he's in reality when he's not. It's just this layer upon layer of idiocy that just works wonderfully. And like I said, the idea of this giant omnidirectional treadmill is really cool. It's not something that I don't think you would really think about if you weren't in the VR world as much as we are. But I mean, how cool would that be to have this like giant omnidirectional treadmill and the world is being created and destroyed all around you? So I don't know, the idea of like the processing power and that kind of thing, like it makes it seem like it could be almost feasible as long if we could make like a hard light or something like that. But once again, it's just these like futuristic uses of VR that, you know, it's not possible now, but it seems like it could be possible somewhere down the line. I totally dig that stuff.
Let's talk about the next episode. What's the name of this episode again? I'm forgetting episode names. Yeah, Morty Night Run, and the part of the episode we're going to focus on. There's a whole plot that goes on beyond, but just the one part of it, which is the video game in Blitz and Chips. Which is, or Blips and Chits, yeah, whatever. It's a Roy, the video game, and it's a big virtual reality headset. You put it on your head, and you get sucked into the virtual reality, and you wake up as a young boy named Roy, and with his mother comforting him and telling him everything's going to be okay, and you live his entire life. And then when he dies, the game's over, and you're like, "What has happened? What happened, Rick? I'm Roy. I sell carpets and used to." Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, like I said, the idea of being able to live a whole life in a matter of a few minutes. Like I said, when Morty comes out of there, he doesn't know what's reality. It's super hilarious. And like I said, you're just playing as a guy. It's not, you're not special. It's not an action film. You're playing as Roy. This dude gets cancer. He just runs a carpet store. And you make these choices. And the whole point of this game, it sounds like, is to see how long you can live and what choices you made. So, because everyone was all in awe that Rick was in there at the end, and he was at like 70 years or something like that. And everyone's like, "Look at him go!" Or so, they're all impressed by the choices he made.
He's off the grid.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
He doesn't even have a social security number.
Oh, that's what it was. There you go. So once again, like that idea of living a sim life, and like I said, having it have your brain think it's in real time. I mean, my God, you're effectively immortal. That's some Inception stuff level right there. We're like 10 levels deep in the dream here right now. So, like I said, very, very cool concepts. Yeah, do you have anything else to say about Roy?
Yeah, Roy was definitely one of my favorites. It spawned a lot of memes, other stuff like that. But just it's one of those episodes that puts ideas in your head. What would I do living the life of Roy? And are there other ones? Can I play Dave? Is there other ones? It's an interesting concept. But because it's a cartoon, they could just make up anything they want. Here it is. We don't have to worry about how the human brain actually functions.
And yeah, so if you guys want to experience like a version of Roy, you can actually play the Rick and Morty virtual reality video game, where you get to play a version of that game called Troy, which is a super dumbed down version of that game where you play as Troy in this very bare bones. Every character's a cutout. All your choices are like yes or no, and you live a very quick life in about 5 minutes. It's pretty funny, pretty hilarious. The game overall is It feels like a nice little slice of Rick and Morty. All the voice cast is there doing their thing. You play as a Morty clone because Rick needs Morty for a mission, but needs stuff done in the garage. And he's basically in job simulator type fashion. You just mess around with stuff all around the game and solve some problems and interact with Rick throughout the campaign. And it's silly Rick and Morty goodness.
Yeah, the game is fun. I loved the game. It had some motion control issues on the PlayStation version of it, but aside from that, it was good. And it was fun that Troy was something you can do multiple times and do multiple lives and everything like that. But just a little slice of that. It was fun.
No, it was good. It was good. Like all the nods to the show as far as the me seeks. This one had the you seeks, and like the Plumbus was in there. Like all these, it was just basically it was 100% fan service. For people that like the show. And like I said, this thing was built for VR, and there's tons of little VR jokes and nods in there. Once again, thank you, Justin Roland. And it's a good time. If you like those simulation simulators, and you like Rick and Morty, you should buy it now. This thing is on sale all the time too, so definitely pick it up.
Yep. So thank you very much for watching episode number 5 of PopGoesVR. I am Danthol once again. Ryan, where can people find out more about you?
I'm the VR Grid everywhere. You can watch me on YouTube. TheVRGrid.com is my website. On social media, I'm the VR Grid. You can't miss me. I do VR reviews and gameplay videos. Danthol, what about yourself?
You can find more about me at watchinvr.com. I put videos up of just Arizona and anywhere else that I travel. It's like a video blog, and there's more videos you can watch in virtual reality there. Fun stuff. You can also, at the bottom there, we have a Patreon. And, well, if you're watching this in VR like you should, there's no bottom there to go to. I'm talking to people in flat video. VR video hasn't evolved there. Eventually, we're going to say, please, click here or here, and you'll be able to reach out and click here and there to go to next video or subscribe or ring the bell or do those kind of things. But you have to do it in flat video now. We'd appreciate if you did that in our Patreon and our Amazon link for stuff so we can make money and buy better equipment so we can provide you videos where you point and click and do things like that. It will be fun. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
See y'all.